We are Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar, giving you a raw take on movies, television, and pop culture. My name's Chris.
My name's Scott.
We got no JB4 today, which means that there is potential for disagreements and plenty of fighting today.
It's only half and half. It's 50-50 in this show.
That's it, man.
There's no tiebreaker.
It's like a man-bear-pig almost. You know, it's half Tyree, half Ginger, and half JB. And JB's out, so...
He's out.
He is out. So, look, let's jump on this shit real quick. This is going to be a long show, I think, but we're going to get to as much as we can.
Do it.
All right. So, Star Wars Resistance.
I saw that trailer.
Yeah, they showed the trailer for that. This is going to be a new animation style that's coming out of the storied animation group of Lucasfilm, which has produced Star Wars animated... one Star Wars animated feature, a Clone Wars movie, which segued into a Clone Wars television series, which went for 5 seasons, and then they released a 6th season that was called the Lost Episodes. They only kind of released what they had finished. This is now going to continue on the Disney streaming service, which is going to launch sometime next year.
Next year? Is there word on that? Is that going to be a Comic-Con thing?
No, they already showed a trailer. It was a Comic-Con thing.
I know, but I mean... And
that's going to be one of their that's going to be one of their launch. That's one of their launch titles.
D23.
I'm sure we'll see more, but they already showed a trailer and an announcement at Comic-Con, so it's going to definitely be part of the streaming service launch. Also, they followed up with Rebels, and then with a exclusive to YouTube, which is called Forces of Destiny, which features more Star Wars for young girls. They kind of were like filler episodes. You never saw that?
No.
Yeah, Forces of Destiny. It focuses on the female characters of Star Wars. And it's done also in another kind of like more of a hand-drawn animation style instead of the computer stuff.
And this is exclusive to YouTube?
Yes, it's exclusive to YouTube, was produced by Dave Filoni. They're only 2 to 3 minute shorts. And some of them are okay, some of them are real kind of dinky, but I mean they're definitely made for young kids.
So with the streaming service coming up, wouldn't you think it would be more appropriate to bring that content to their streaming service? That's
well, Clone Wars. That's why they did that. That's obviously their most popular show. I mean, dude, it's Star Wars everywhere.
I understand all that, but like we talked about TNT, how Turner has exclusive rights to be able to show Star Wars movies now instead of reining that in to one service.
Right.
Why are they doing that for this when they have not necessarily a streaming app, but they have the Disney app?
Subscribers. They want people to pay money to watch shit. Now, if you have them, it's the same old thing.
I get that, but why YouTube?
Because, dude, Star Wars everywhere. You want it everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
Guess.
Look, if I got some 2 to 3 minute shorts, now, to be fair, these shorts did show on the Disney Channel in between commercials.
Yes,
but they launched, right along with YouTube. In fact, they kind of like steered YouTube as being the main thing. But what was cool about it is that all of the actresses that played these characters, they returned to voice their characters, with the exception of Carrie Fisher, of course. No. But yeah, all the characters that did the voices for Ahsoka Tano, Rey, Jyn Erso, all those actresses returned to do roles.
I wonder if there is enough audio from everything that she's done to be able to use her voice in future episodes.
I don't know. They've already said that it's a news item today that Princess Leia is going to be a character in Star Wars Resistance. But I'm sure that it's going to be just like Leia of previous episodes. Carrie Fisher never returned to voice the character.
No, I'm just saying with all the audio and outtakes and words that they...
Well, I mean, if they wanted to bend something to their will, to make the story kind of fit that, I'm sure they could. But I think that they're going to move ahead and they're going to do a different actress like they always did with the Princess Leia character. What I find interesting about this Resistance show, I mean, the animation looks good. It's definitely a kid's show and kind of looks a little bit lesser in quality compared to Clone Wars and Rebels.
I think it's different. I don't say lesser quality. I think it's a different animation.
What I find interesting, though, is that Dave Filoni is kind of the unsung hero of Lucasfilm. Even though there's a lot of people that have mixed reactions on Disney's direction with Star Wars, it's pretty much unanimous that Dave Filoni is the shining star of that company. He said time and time again that it is important to him to carry on the legacy of George Lucas. I find it very interesting that he came into the media and told them, yeah, Star Wars Resistance, I don't really have anything to do with. I'm unofficially involved. Yeah, I front the animation department, but I don't have any of my fingerprints on this thing. It's a whole different team. I don't know if that's so much of a slight. I think really what it is that they're going to use Filoni to do something like Clone Wars because that's going to draw people to their streaming service, and that's direct revenue to that company.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what they're going to do. But
all of this is going to end up being on the streaming service and direct revenue for that company.
At some point, yes. What's interesting, though, also, is that if you go to the YouTube video and you watch this trailer, the dislikes, thumbs down on this thing is 3-1 compared to likes.
That's stupid.
I mean, hey, man.
Not only is it stupid, but, like, if it were a movie, I would say, okay, I get it. You know, fanboys are going after it. But not only is this a cartoon, it's a Star Wars cartoon. And I kind of feel like that's an easier ship to steer. Cartoons, animation, Star Wars, than an actual movie franchise moving forward. That's a big ship.
Yeah.
Cartoon stuff, you can change on the fly. I mean, stories
very much so.
Stories, but why? Why are they hating on Star Wars so much? Give it a chance. At least let the show come on and they go, this was really terrible. I mean, I hate a lot of stuff, but oh my God, at least I'm going to try it once.
Well, I mean, Clone Wars is a prime example. You look at that show in the first 2 seasons, and it's very much made for young viewers. But when it gets into season 3, I mean, dude, there's a lot of heavy stuff. I mean, with politics and characters being in murder plots. And there's actually one scene in, I think it's season 5. They have a group of defective clones. And they kind of like become the main story arc of season 5.
Right.
They have one clone that actually realizes that there is a chip device in their head that's going to cause them to murder Jedi. And he's trying to get away, and the Emperor's actually trying to assassinate him. Well, he goes and hides in a clone bar where just these clones hang out. All the clones are fucking drunk. I'm like, dude, this is a show for kids?
Oh.
But I mean, it gets into some heavy stuff.
Bubbles on their head.
And dude, it's oh no. I mean, they're like sloshing in the streets with bottles and shit. It's fucking awesome. But it's a really great show. I tell anybody who's really a Star Wars fan that really likes that stuff. I mean, dude, Clone Wars is tops, man. It's phenomenal.
I'm just saying
really
we don't
good.
know what this Resistance show could be sort of the same thing. Made for kids, but with adult themes overlapping. Sort of like what a lot of cartoons do that Disney puts out.
I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance, but I'll tell you, man, Clone Wars and Rebels have spoiled me so much to superior storytelling. If this isn't up to par with that, I won't like stick in for the long haul. Yeah. But I'll give it a chance.
Will you hate it?
No. I don't really. Honestly, I mean. Ironically, Star Wars is what has changed my opinion to movies in general. So, Episode 1, yes, I hated it, but after that, I kind of realized that it is what it is. You can't get pissed off about a movie. So,
you know, like if you don't particularly like Resistance, but your kid likes Resistance, it's like, all right, well, it's doing what it needs to do. It's getting young kids involved in Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, my kid likes it. Yeah, I mean that's cool. But hey, look, my kid loves Rebels, and that shit is awesome.
I'm just saying, you know, one more avenue.
I don't know. I'm curious to see how my kid's going to react to it because what's really funny is that I showed her DC Superhero Girls.
Yeah,
and she watched the show and she was like, "Dude, this isn't the real Supergirl." She wanted to see Melissa Benoist on CW. She's like, "Yeah, this isn't the real Supergirl or the real Flash or any of that. You know, turn this junk off. I want to see the real stuff."
Yeah.
So there you go.
All
right. So yeah, that's all we have in trailers this week, but we'll see how it goes. Look, one more thing on this real quick before we go, and it is interesting as far as like the internet is concerned. This goes to show you that regardless of bitchy fanboys or what you think about any franchise, man, this is some pretty fucking like crazy focus marketing, like real time. You want real time focus marketing? Here it is, right here. So
yeah, but you know, it's again grain of salt.
I don't know. I mean, look, when episode 9 comes out, we'll see how this tallies, and we'll see how much of a grain of salt it is. I'm still very much in the camp that movie's not going to do as well
box office
as the previous two, in box office. So, And box office is the name of the game, regardless of what you think.
Right.
All right, on to some news. Gal Gadot is official for WreckIt Ralph 2. She'll play Shank, a character from a racing game to aid Ralph and Penelope. Gadot has exploded since her portrayal of Wonder Woman, but she brings experience to this role after playing Giselle in Fast and the Furious. So
that's going to be good.
Yeah, I liked the first Wreck-It Ralph. I thought
too.
it was a cool little movie. It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, John C. Reilly, sort of at his best.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, he was good, and as much as I'm not really a Sarah Silverman fan, I thought she was fun in the movie. She was
because
good.
you can kind of take your, like, you might not like her as a comedian, whatever, but she plays that role Penelope great.
Oh yeah, she does well.
Voice wise.
Yeah, good stuff. So
John C. Reilly, really fast. Did you happen to see a John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell?
Yes, it's Holmes and Watson.
Have you seen that the photos coming out?
I've seen the photos, but I haven't seen the trailer.
I haven't seen.
So,
I didn't know there was a trailer.
Yeah, I don't think there's one yet, but I've seen production photos. So, I mean, why not?
Long rumored though. That's been rumored forever.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do it comedy based, I mean, they've kind of like billed themselves as kind of a duo now, and
yeah.
You know, before you had Farrell and Wahlberg, but you know, I think that they're better fitted for that role.
For a while, I thought it was going to be Farrell and Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was sort of the thing too. But
yeah.
This works too.
All right, it's rumored that Margot Robbie was campaigning for Lady Gaga to star in Birds of Prey. Gaga was offered the roles of the Huntress and Black Canary, but she reportedly turned down both of the roles. It's likely to do with the intense schedule of her Vegas residency. That's provided this movie even gets made.
I got to tell you, she's really a good actress, and to play either of those characters, I would be on board 100%.
I have no hate toward Gaga. She is fucking uber talented.
Yeah.
And you add up all of the pop stars together and all that shit, she's a tour de force, man. She's
absolutely
absolutely talented and very underrated. And I think when people throw her into the same pot as like a Katy Perry or Madonna, even Taylor Swift, who I do have respect for because she writes her own music.
Right.
I think Gaga pretty much is the queen of them all, you know.
Jack of all trades. I saw in American Horror Story, I watched some of that, and she's sort of a resident on that show, and she's fantastic.
That's good.
Fantastic.
Great. Well, hey, look, hopefully, I don't know. I think she'd be a good fit in a DC movie.
She'd be a good Huntress, I tell you.
Yeah.
I'd be in for that, but...
No doubt. All right, this is weird.
This is weird.
Yeah, police are in search of Sean Young, who allegedly broke into a home in Astoria, Queens with a male accomplice and stole 2 Apple laptops equaling $12,000. She's best known for her roles in Blade Runner and Ace Ventura, which she plays Lois Einhorn or Ray Finkel, depending on depending on if you see Captain Winky or not. So
2 laptops, huh?
2 laptops that they said was loaded with movie editing software. So they broke into this house and stole that shit. So
does she want to make her Catwoman movie?
I don't know. She's always been a fucking wackadoodle. So there's no telling what that's what that entails. So all right, Star Trek 4 now hangs in limbo. Both Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth, who were in talks with Paramount to reprise their roles as James and George Kirk, now they're even out of talks. They say, we're not even talking to you anymore. From what the rumor is that Star Trek Beyond, which was the 3rd in the reboot series, a movie I actually enjoyed, they said that it didn't do well like they wanted it to, and they were actually asking the actors to kind of take pay cuts. And
wow.
So Chris Pine's like, look, I'm Captain Kirk, so, you know, there's that. And then Chris Hemsworth said, well, I'm playing Thor, and I'm getting ready to be in Ghostbusters, Men in Black, and all that shit, so I don't really need any of this bullshit, especially considering that Hemsworth kind of played a cameo role, you know? He was in the first movie for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, Chris Pine is sort of like, hey, check me out, I'm in Wonder Woman.
Yeah, right, and a bunch of
You may
other
have
shit.
heard me. Right, oh yeah, you know.
Yeah, there's some rumors right now that they're gonna make a movie based on Metal Gear Solid, the video game, and they're talking about Pine playing Solid Snake.
Really?
So,
I've seen pictures. I've seen Photoshop pictures of Chris Evans as Solid Snake.
Uh-huh.
I got to tell you, the Chris Evans with the beard as Solid Snake, I'd be in for that. Now, I'd also be in for Chris Pine Solid Snake, so...
I'm in for this movie being made 20 years ago and having the actual actor that he was influenced by to play, and that would be Kurt Russell.
Right.
So Solid Snake is a direct homage to Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
And they could even do that with like Old Man Snake. I know it's already been done, but I'm just saying.
It's dude, I would go see that fucking movie in a heartbeat.
Well, that is sort of that's the direction of
provided somebody else did it. I don't want to see after Escape from L.A.
Oh no!
Yeah, I don't need another John Carpenter thing. So, all right, it appears that Venom will receive a PG-13 instead of R rating, as previously reported. Chicken shit fucks. So it doesn't make a difference. It's like I said in the last show. Look, how about we make a He-Man movie and not put He-Man in it?
Dun, dun,
so
dun.
yeah, fucking stupid. All right, Chris Hardwick has returned to The Talking Dead, but executive producers have quit the show in disagreement over Hardwick's sexual abuse allegations. Well, if he turns out to be innocent, I guess they're going to feel pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's whatever. That's their.
You know how it is.
I haven't watched.
Guilty because of the internet.
I haven't watched it because it hasn't pertained to my Walking Dead show because I'm Walking Dead. I'm not Fear of the Walking Dead. So
yeah,
I'll let you know when we get back to Walking Dead in a month and a half.
They actually do Talking Dead after Fear?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what this is for. Talking Dead started back on because Fear is back on. They go all the way. As long as there's a show, when Better Call Saul was on, they do a couple of Talking Saul ones. When Breaking Bad was on, he did Talking Bad through the whole season.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Okay.
It's a thing, which is why his talking show was like an offshoot to kind of just do it all. Like, hey, let's do this show with Chris Hardwick on AMC all the time.
I don't have cable. I have officially cut the cord. But everything I hear, Fear is actually a better show than the core show.
That's what they say.
I just haven't watched it. So.
Me either.
All right, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has been placed on hold after the James Gunn firing. Some are saying it's to do with fan backlash, and others are saying Marvel Studios is trying to find the right director to move forward with the movie. It's been reported that Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi is in talks to do another feature with Marvel, but it's unknown if it's Guardians 3. Disney has stated again that Gunn will not return, and Marvel Studios has stood with that statement now as well. Before, they were kind of wishy-washy, but now they're standing with Disney and saying, no, he's not coming back.
When was that movie supposed to come out?
I think next year.
Next year, 2019.
Yeah, 2019. It was in the lineups with Captain Marvel, and it was going to be...
Avengers 4?
There was supposed to be... No, 2020.
2020.
2020 is when it comes out. I'm sorry.
So,
because the three next year are Captain Marvel, Avengers 4, and Spider-Man 2. So this is a 2020.
I love that series, but I have a feeling after this Phase 4, what are we in? Phase 4? Phase 3? Phase 4?
Phase 3 is what we're in now.
The reboot, as I like to call it, they can do whatever they want. They literally could flip the script and do whatever, no matter what they have scheduled out. They could do whatever.
Oh, and I'm sorry, we're in phase. We're in Phase 3.
Phase 3. So once
so.
Avengers 4 happens, if they decide to reboot, which they still have time to do, they can. They can do what they want.
I don't know. I'm of the opinion. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 1. It's in my top 5 of the Marvel movies. I didn't like the second one.
I'm just saying they don't need a third one. That was.
Oh
my point.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, they could let the third one go.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, right, and I mean that's the thing that brings it around. I mean, really, honestly, I think Avengers 4 is going to kind of give some things some finality, and they could probably move forward clean slate if they wanted to.
And they still have a whole lot of time if they decide they don't want to do Guardians and they have some characters they need to unwrite. That movie doesn't come out until next summer. There's still some, let's go back to the drawing board. Not drawing board, but let's go back to the editing board and reshoots. I don't know.
Right. Well, I was listening to Not Real Radio, and they were talking about this whole situation with Gunn. And, I mean, for being on that show as much as First Amendment advocates and saying whatever the fuck you want, I even listened to Zartome kind of question what kind of James Gunn's character a little bit, because the thing with it is it's not one or two pedophilia jokes. You're talking about thousands of jokes this guy made.
Right.
And even to the point to where they actually attended a To Catch a Predator Halloween-themed party. So this guy, I don't know, is kind of a fucking wackadoodle. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, one joke is that. But, I mean, dude, when you got a family-oriented fucking company, you got to let this shit go. This guy, Dave Bautista, is actually now making videos, like chastising the fuck out of Disney. Of course, saying bro every 3 seconds. But let me tell you, bro, it's probably not best to stand by somebody who makes fucking jokes that crass in a in a family movie company.
Well,
I mean, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yes to that, but if those dudes are those dudes are pals, I don't know how far.
Well, I think the reason why
goes.
Dave Bautista's ass is all fucking chapped is because it's rumored that the third movie had a lot to do with his character. The thing with it is that look, I see that shit all the time. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if he's willing to quit, if Gunn doesn't get the role or they don't use the script, if he's willing to quit the Marvel franchise and that movie doesn't get made anyway, he doesn't lose anything. He moves on. All he's doing now, I'm just saying that's what he said on his
that bitch
world.
ain't quitting. Yeah, okay, Dave. See you in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
There is no Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
It's on hold right. There's a script in place. Yeah. I mean, dude, if they pull the trigger and they're ready to go, they're ready to go. I mean, dude, like Gunn was beginning to film this shit. Like they were months away from it starting. Even to the point to where Disney said, even though we're firing him, we're going to use his script.
Oh, I think it's going to be off. I think it's off the table for possibly ever. I think they can do anything they want.
They can do whatever they want, but remember something else too is that it's time will tell as to what things are going to do. Because remember something about Guardians of the Galaxy, it is close to $1 billion franchise. It's right up there with all the others. Right. It makes 900 plus.
So is
That's
Star
a lot
Wars.
Of fucking money.
So is Star Wars, and those fans backlashed on them as well.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Speaking of Star Wars, Mark Hamill revealed that Arnold Schwarzenegger asked him for advice early in his career. Hamill told him to lose his accent and his last name since people wouldn't be able to pronounce it so he could get a wider range of roles. Hamill said it's a good thing that Arnold didn't listen to him because he became one of the biggest stars ever.
Right?
So, there you go.
Luke Skywalker's giving Conan advice.
Yeah, Luke didn't really fucking, give a very good Jedi mastering on that one. So
yeah.
All right, Jonathan Nolan reveals that he tried to persuade his brother Chris to use Painted Black by the Rolling Stones in the trailer to The Dark Knight. Chris refused, wanting to use Hans Zimmer's score for the Batman for The Dark Knight to highlight the continuation of the franchise. Jonathan Nolan said that he used it in Westworld as a tribute to his memory of Heath Ledger. So
it's probably one of the coolest scenes too.
That's the one with the saloon shootout, right?
Yeah,
it's fucking great, excellent. After retiring from the role a few short months ago, Bruce Campbell will return to voice Ash for an upcoming Evil Dead video game. Unfortunately, Ash vs. Evil Dead was canceled after its third season on Starz, but fans are hoping that this game will give the storyline some closure. It really is a shame. That was a fucking awesome show.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it was. The producers came out and said it's one of the most pirated shows on the internet. And Starz isn't really seeing the viewership that we needed to have to continue it on. So, yes, it was highly watched, but...
illegally watched.
Yeah, it was illegally watched. I was hoping
they couldn't go to Netflix.
I was hoping that was going to happen, but from what Bruce Campbell said, yeah, it's kind of done.
It's done.
So
that's a shame.
All right, writer Jeremy Slater tweeted he had 3 items on his bucket list as for his writing career. He wanted to write a story for Marvel, Star Wars, and a Stephen King adaptation. He actually got to write the one for Marvel. He apologized for it, which was the Fantastic Four reboot. But he's happy to report that he is working on the Tommyknockers, which will be directed by James Wan of The Conjuring.
Is that's a film, right?
Yeah,
doing a film,
doing a movie based on it.
That's
and what's pretty fucking cool is this guy Jeremy Slater said that the first book that I bought with my own money as a kid was the Tommyknockers.
No
so
shit.
He's like, this is kind of a dream for me to do this. So
that has all the recipes to be a frightening film.
Yeah. And James Wan, man, he's tops, man. He's a great director. He's working on Aquaman or wrapping up Aquaman, but
yeah, right. That's Aquaman comes out in
December.
Done.
December.
That's not done?
Yeah, it's in post.
All right.
I mean, finishing touch shit.
Food.
So, yeah, it'll be out in December. So, I mean, you're talking just a few months away and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So, you would be surprised how much they work on movies up to the point that they're released. I mean, dude, like John Williams, like, it amazes me that he typically scores a Star Wars movie only 2 months before it's released to the theater. And the reason why he does that is so they can assemble a cut.
So he can,
write his stuff based on that. All right, Danny Boyle is officially out as the director of Bond 25. The producers of the franchise rejected his script, so we got the good old creative differences. Goodbye. Rumors of his replacement include Christopher McQuarrie, who directed the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. Catherine Bigelow, director of The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, which would be tremendous, but I doubt you'll see that happen. Dean Mark Vallée, who was the Dallas Buyers Club director, and even Edgar Wright, who they're saying is maybe the front runner of the movie. It's believed that this is also going to push back the movie's production as well. Danny Boyle, that's a tremendous loss to that movie. I mean, that dude did Slumdog Millionaire, he did Train Spotting. I mean,
but you look at all the directors that are on this list. It's not like.
Oh, yeah, none of these fuckers are slubs,
Christ,
man.
No,
none of them are slubs. So,
and that Mission Impossible movie I hear is still doing well.
Oh,
that last one. Mm-hmm. That's nuts.
My choice still remains number 1 is Guy Ritchie, but Guy's busy.
Yeah. But
He's got too much shit going on.
Like I'm sitting here thinking in my mind, Edgar Wright would be a great.
He'd be great in our minds, but I can tell you Edgar Wright is going to be a guy that says, if I make a James Bond movie, I'm going to make my James Bond movie. And you still have to fight the producers, which one of the producers of that movie, they have held the family has held the production rights of James Bond since Dr. No. So it's a person who had that movie, and now that is passed on. It's the Broccoli family.
Right.
That franchise rights have passed through like almost 2 generations of that family now. Almost 3 generations.
There's a vision.
There is a vision of what they think James Bond should be. Right. So, I mean, you have to fight that shit.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright is too much of a fucking maverick. And to be honest with you, I like him making his own movies. That Baby Driver movie was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah.
So let him do his own thing.
Fair enough.
All right, The Flash is rumored to begin filming in February of 2019. I put that right up there with Birds of Prey. I believe it when I see it.
And what was that other movie we keep saying was going to come out?
Supergirl was another one they were talking about.
Gambit.
Gambit. Oh, that's never coming out. That's especially not coming out now with the Disney acquisition. After a 12-year run, The Big Bang Theory is coming to an end. Jim Parsons, who plays Shelton, isn't interested in returning, so producers thought it would be best to go out on a high note, and that's a smart move.
Yeah, it is.
You don't do the Golden Girls without Dorothy, dude. You only get one extra season or spin-off, and it falls apart. So
and these guys are kind of lucky. They still have that Young Sheldon show that is fine. CBS will be... They're doing good.
Oh, yeah. They'll be okay. I mean, I think it's good to end on a high note. It's like I said, you have shows like Community that are written by bona fide nerds. And then you have, it's a bona fide show about nerds by nerds. And then you have The Big Bang Theory, which is a show about nerds written by a bunch of Hollywood fucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty much what it is.
My dad watches that show religiously.
So does my mom.
And he was even like, when I said, hey, I'm like, hey, dude, your show's coming to an end. He's like, yeah, how many times can they do a wedding? And what, are they going to have kids now? It's time.
Whenever there's weddings and kids that are involved, that the ratings are starting to go down.
Right.
So they need to find a way to grow the family, so to speak. So
done.
All right, the novelization of Solo reveals that Effen's Nest and the Cloud Riders, which are referred to as the Marauders in the movie by Beckett and his crew. Han Solo in the movie is after a special type of fuel that's called coaxium. Well, it's revealed in the novelization that Effen's Nest takes the coaxium to a young Jyn Erso and Saw Gerrera from Rogue One, so they can continue their battle against the Empire.
And we don't get that in the movie?
We don't get that in the movie, and that's one thing that I have to say is really fucking cool about Star Wars, is that when you have a multimedia franchise like that, you can tuck those extra little nuggets in there that will incentivize fans to buy that shit.
Right.
So, pretty cool stuff. I'm glad that somebody reported it because I don't have time to read a novel about a movie that I saw. All right, Quentin Tarantino adds Lena Dunham to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which basically now I don't give a fuck about this movie anymore because Lena Dunham is a fucking pig. So that's pretty much what it is. All right, a campaign has begun for a young woman named Kira, given 3 to 6 months to live after a 4-year battle with brain cancer, to have the Russo brothers meet with her and reveal the plot of Avengers 4 before she passes away. They say that this campaign has gotten up to 84,000 tweets. There's no word from Marvel yet, but they believe that Marvel has no doubt that this is a thing.
That they're going to do it. They're going to meet with her.
They haven't said a peep about anything, but they've done this with Star Wars twice.
Yeah.
They had a guy who wanted to see Episode 7, and he was shown the movie before he passed away, and there was also for Rogue One. So that was twice that this has happened for Star Wars. I don't see this. I see this maybe Marvel following in suit for this also. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. But yeah, they say that she probably won't make the release date.
They won't make the release. That's a shame.
So yeah, but I mean that's
altogether.
Yeah, but this is all part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I mean up to 84,000 tweets.
I gotta tell you, I might be the same way. Like, dude, I'm dying in 6 months. Can you at least give me just tell me what happens?
Yeah, right. I mean, and that's it. I mean, it's kind of like you've been through all this shit. It's like Kevin Smith says, I had a heart attack, but I had to stay alive so I could see the completion of the Avengers.
Yes.
So that's it. All right, thanks to Netflix, Adam Sandler and Will Smith are now the highest paid actors in Hollywood. That is fucking crazy.
Is it? It is.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I got to tell you, Adam Sandler, I get it. Because, you know what? As much as I watch his shows and I really haven't enjoyed an Adam Sandler movie since, like, God, I don't know. It's been tough.
I haven't liked an Adam Sandler movie since which one came out first? Was it Big Daddy or 50 First Dates? I think 50 First Dates came out after,
Daddy.
huh?
Yeah. He was still
I like these are the only Adam Sandler movies that I like. I like Billy Madison.
Yes.
I like Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
I like Big Daddy.
Yes.
I like 50 First Dates, and I like Punch Drunk Love. That's the only 5. Oh, and yeah, that's it. Those 5.
You know which one
I like those.
Was good. The one he did with Andy Samberg, where he was the father and Samberg was the kid.
Daddy's Boy or something. Granddad's Boy or some shit.
No. Maybe.
Yeah, they talk about it on Not Real Radio pretty regularly.
It's actually a pretty funny because it's R. So they just go after it.
I haven't seen that movie, but a lot of people say it's pretty fucking hilarious. So.
And then Grandma's Boy, which is
it's something.
That's not a Sandler movie. That's a production.
Yeah, that's a Happy Madison production. Yes, Grandma's Boy, but he's got that other one too. Look, I'm gonna get to this next news. Look that up real quick. All right, along with J.J. Abrams alum Kerry Russell, Dominic Monaghan has joined Star Wars Episode 9. He is best known for Lost. He plays Charlie in that show, but he's already starred in one big franchise as Merry the Hobbit in Lord of the Rings. So he was big on that shit. So what's the name of the movie, dude?
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still looking. I was listening to your news thing. Neil Simon died?
Oh fuck! That just had Neil Simon, director of Biloxi Blues. He was a very famous playwright. A lot of his playwrights got turned into movies, but Biloxi Blues is kind of like The Odd Couple.
Died at 91.
That's what a hell of a fucking life, man. Yeah.
Holy shit.
But yeah, he was a famous playwright, and a lot of his plays were adapted to movies.
Yeah.
He did 2 movies that were kind of these autobiographical movies. The name of the character that was based on him was Eugene Morris Jerome. That character appeared in 2 movies. One was named Brighton Beach Memoirs, and the other one was called Biloxi Blues. Biloxi Blues is probably the more popular of the 2. It starred Matthew Broderick. And they basically go to boot camp right before World War II. And it is a fucking funny movie. Legitimately hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, highly check that out. Man, what a life.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Rest in peace, Mr. Simon.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll get you.
All right. So what about this Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, or Adam Sandberg piece of shit?
I'm getting there. Hold on. News happens.
All right. I'll give you some more news here before I get to the big one. Here's our second to last news item.
That's my boy.
That's my boy. That's it. So
it's a funny film.
So there you go.
Go.
AntMan and the Wasp, it kind of had a lackluster performance in the domestic box office, but it had an opening night in China that was fucking crazy. It did $23 million in one night. So it goes to show again, man, China is a very desirable market for Hollywood. So and is a big driver for the international box office.
Damn.
So yeah, you only got a billion motherfuckers to sell a movie to. So yep, very important.
There's an audience.
And this is the last piece of news, which I'm gonna bring it right back to the Russo brothers, which is pretty fucking crazy. The Russos will likely direct the movie Cherry after wrapping on Avengers 4. It is based on a true-life story of Nico Walker, a soldier suffering with PTSD who went on a drug-induced bank robbery to pay for his addictions. He bid his story while he was in jail. The bidding of the story actually got cut off because he ran out of minutes on the fucking phone.
Really?
They're saying that the Russos really want to tell this story because some of their close friends, they lost their lives to drugs, and they're also from the same hometown as Nico Walker, which is Cleveland. They beat out James Franco's production company, the same ones that did The Disaster Artist, to do this movie. They say this guy Nico Walker has taken his story pretty seriously. This novel's only been out for 2 months, and
really?
It's
and
fucking
they're doing it.
Fucking crazy big. And the Russos got into a bidding war with this guy in prison over the telephone. So how fucking crazy is that?
That's fucking crazy.
So yeah. So I'm sure a movie that will warrant a true to life documentary as much as the making of the movie itself. So
yeah,
pretty
and
fucking
they
crazy.
can turn around and do that too, or Franco can do that.
Yeah,
Franco can do the making of, and the Russos will do the actual story.
There you go, man. Hey,
we all win.
You should be a showrunner.
I know, right?
That's it. You should be an executive producer.
Yeah,
man. Okay. Look, dude, we got through this without one fucking fight, man.
No, I can't even think of anything. Muscle. I mean,
that's it.
I can't even.
Wonder
think of
Twin
anything.
powers fucking activate.
There
Good job, man. All right, well, cool. You got anything to add, bro?
I don't have anything to add. Oh, no. You know what they're doing on Netflix? I'm not Netflix, on HBO.
What's that?
They're doing a show about Fantasy Island. You remember Fantasy Island?
Oh yeah, yeah. And Dinklage is going to play Huerve Villaches, which is,
and I saw a trailer for it, and it looks. I'm in. It's a movie.
Ah, cool, man.
That's coming out in
that's fantastic.
In a month on HBO. Oh, I also heard Game of Thrones is getting pushed back.
Oh, really?
Another month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess
Speaking of HBO,
that's probably production stuff, but it's good that it's only a month. So if it would have been another 6 months, I'm sure the fans would have been fucking pissed off. But
yeah.
But I mean, dude, I think that show is going to be as big as it ever was. Nobody's forgotten about it, and especially now with it being
I just want it
the
to
finale.
be done while I'm still alive. Speaking of that thing,
yeah,
I mean, they keep pushing it back, but.
That's it, man. You never know what happens. The next thing, you find yourself laying in a box looking at a fucking crystal chandelier that looks like Superman's ship. So.
Yeah, hopefully they just have show notes on what happened.
So there it is.
Right, there it is.
All right. All right, well, thanks for listening. Please subscribe over at iTunes. If you're a true fan, leave us a review. 5 stars only. Don't be a fucking prick and leave us 3 or 4. We ask you to do the same over for Not Real Radio and Scary Thoughts. Check out the latest episode of Scary Thoughts. Instead of them doing the horror movie thing, they go and they riff on a whole bunch of shit. So I kind of like Chad and Mark in that format there. Hopefully they kind of visit that a little bit more. So, but yeah, definitely give that a look-see. Leave a review, write them a review and some starsage. 5 stars. We'd appreciate that. Also, check us out at the PPV Guys group over on Facebook. We
so many fun things.
Yeah, post silly memes and bust each other's balls all the time. So we have all of our sister and brother shows over there with us that chime in every now and again. So check that shit out. Thanks for listening and scene.